What's going on, vibers? It's your boy J.S. Vaughn. And guess what, y'all? We back with another one. Today's track is called A Long Short Way by your boy RINO. You know what I mean? Let's jump right into it, fam. Let's go.
Do I mean to be disrespectful? But truth gotta be told. Peace to the ancestors. We've come a long, short way, but we can't stop.
I like that shit, man. Now I get the because I was like, before this track started, I was like, what the fuck they mean by long, short way and shit. And after that, he's talking about peace to ancestors and whatnot. So he's talking about the past and whatnot. So he's saying we come a long, short way, but still we can't stop. So he's just saying like, we came a long way, but in actual reality, we ain't go far at all yet. You know what I mean? So he's like, we done a lot, but we still got some more to go. That's what he means from that, I think.
But we can't stop. The fire never slowed down. It's still hot. Tell 'em we won't be free till we know we're not.
He said, we won't be free till we know we're not. Oh, say it again.
We won't be free till we know we're not. Say that again. I said we won't be free till we know we're not. I wasn't born back in slavery, but I read about it. The hurt and suffering was hard to wrap my head around it. Are there any levels of present day regret? I doubt it. The ones who did it are upset cause we upset about it. Come on.
He said the ones that did it are upset cause we upset about it. I can't say it any better than that, yo. That I mean, and the way that he's saying is like the ones that did it are upset. I think he's talking about the bloodlines of the people that did it are upset because we're upset about it and shit. Because like, hey, if you read a story about your past and shit, and it only brought you freaking, it only made you upset and shit. You know what I mean? If the person bloodline that story is about don't get why you upset, it's kind of confusing. You know what I mean? And they're upset that you're upset, but all for the wrong for different reasons. It's kind of crazy. You know what I mean? So I get where he's coming from. That's some freaking psychological warfare type shit. You know what I mean?
Present day regret, I doubt it. The ones who did it are upset cause we upset about it. They only tell the watered down version, so I'ma run it.
You said they only tell the watered down version, so I'ma run up. I'ma run. What is it? Why he sound so cool? And they're not writing the words right, man.
About it. They only tell the watered down version, so I'ma run it.
Okay.
It's being sliced out of his mama's stomach. They wanna hide the truth, so they tune it down a notch. But when they hung a black man, the whole town would watch.
When they hung a black man, the whole town would watch. Bars, man. You know what I mean? And they want to keep it low key. It's like on some real shit. There's no way that you could, I always say that shit, man. There's no way that you could like, you could like freaking water down the freaking, American history. You know what I mean? It's a lot of ups and fucking a lot of downs as well. You know what I mean? And we gotta actually look at both and acknowledge it for what it is and whatnot. You know what I mean? You can't move forward unless you know the past and shit. That's how I feel. You know what I mean? And if you don't know your past and whatnot, you know, it's very important for you to know it.
But when they hung a black man, the whole town would watch. With waves of hate, free labor was punctuated. 300 years straight and none of us were compensated. Even the bad history could serve to motivate. But the fools we are today, we let that go to waste. We've come a long, short way, but we can't stop. The fire never slowed down. It's still hot. Tell 'em we won't be free till we know we're not. Say that again. I said we won't. read about it. When I was young, I believed what teachers said about it. Some of us have knowledge of the truth, but we too scared to mouth it. If you think this country's different now, forget about it. We would protest at a restaurant to sit in it, begging them to eat their food so they can spit in it.
Whoa, man, that's crazy, man. He said we protest at restaurants to sit in it. You know what I mean? Just as simple sit in it. You know what I mean? He said, begging them for food, beg them to eat their food so they could spit in it. You know what I mean? Meaning like you at their restaurant and shit. You know what I mean? They ain't feeling your vibe at all. You know what I mean? They don't want you there, but you want to freaking actually purchase their food. Like you got dough and you want to purchase their food and shit. And when they do give you the food and shit, they probably spit in that shit before they gave it to you. It's bars. It's crazy. You know what I mean? That's the type of disgust motherfuckers had for black people in the 60s and shit, you know? And he's expressing that, you know what I mean? It was no freaking hunky-dory type shit, you know? And let me see what
a restaurant to sit in it, begging them to eat their food so they can spit in it. And if a leader rose to prominence, they hated them. The FBI or CIA assassinated them. You came in knowing that you had to have a life to give. Crazy to think that people died for the right to live. Deals broken, reparations that were never paid. And integration was the worst mistake we ever made. We've come a long, short way, but we can't stop. The fire never slowed down. It's still hot. Tell them we won't be free till we know we're not.
We won't. Every time I hear that bar, man, I'm trying to get. We won't be free until we know we're not. We won't be free till we know we're not. I don't know why we won't be free.
Said we won't be free till we know we're not. I'm not in the future yet, but still I'm planning for it. I'm in the present, building up my understanding for it. Working every day and strategizing every night. Planting seeds we hope to harvest as a better life. Respect from the world, nobody mistreating us. The children that we led today will soon be leading us. Okay. Let's go to mental places that we never been before.
I like where he's going with this. He's like let me go.
Give blessings so down the line you can walk into yours. Now the focus has to be shifted to education and health. Generational curses reverse to generational wealth. Will we ever start embracing a newer way? Cause what happens tomorrow's based on what we do today. Yeah, we've come a long, short way, but we can't stop.
Yo, hold on, let it play. Let me let it play.
The fire never slowed down. It's still hot. Tell them we won't be free till we know we're not. Say that again. I said we won't be free till we know we're not.
Oh wow, man, that's a lot to take in. I like the format of I like how he laid down his verses and whatnot. You know what I mean? Cause pretty freaking much he goes back to slavery. That's the first one that he covers and whatnot. What was going on in slavery and whatnot and shit. And the watered down version to opposed to what really happened. And how freaking graphic and savage that shit really was and shit, and then then the second verse pulls up and whatnot, and he's talking about like for during the civil rights movements and shit, and how like motherfuckers we still wasn't on equal grounds and shit, you know what I mean, and the same motherfuckers that we would go and try to freaking same places we wasn't being treated equal at that point either. You know what I mean? But like they wanted us to forget and think everything was honky dory and shit. But like the laws wasn't equal. The type of shits that were done to our beings in the past, or our ancestors in the past, were never really freaking justified and whatnot. It's just like an ugly stain in history and shit. You know what I mean? And he talked about like, yo, you go into restaurants and shit and eating, trying to freaking eat and just to sit and protest and whatnot. You know what I mean? And that becomes a big problem and whatnot. And when people, the same people that's giving you the food and whatnot to eat and shit, is the same people who's basically spitting in your food because they don't want you in their establishment. You know what I mean? And then the most best, my favorite part of it and whatnot, because he has a form of like, yo, all right, man, this is the past and whatnot, and we got to move forward, and we got to make moves and whatnot, and we got to make generational moves and whatnot for so we can build up our families and make sure our families are good and whatnot, and in a better position than we are and whatnot. And I feel like that's kind of that's a good way to freaking move forward. Is basically, you know what I mean, make sure you doing the best for yourself and your family and whatnot, grinding heavy and hard as possible and whatnot to make your family less to put your family in your peoples in a better situation than you were. You know what I mean? Moving forward, that's the optimistic viewpoint that I see that he having over all that type of shit. I scrolled down a little bit further and whatnot because I wanted to see when the track dropped and whatnot, and it was released December 18th, 2020 and whatnot. Because fuck yeah, freaking December 20. What can I say? Freaking last year was a hell of a fucking year and shit. And if and I can see why he dropped this track like around December and whatnot. There's a lot of fucking crazy shit that was going on and whatnot. And I guess he wanted his time to express how he felt. You know what I mean? But to be honest with you, K Reno is always on some like freaking always on some freaking forward thinking type shit. You know what I mean? Getting your head right and doing some real shit. So I wouldn't look past it, yo. But all in all, man, I like the energy of this track and whatnot. I like the freaking the layers of the verses. I like the way the verses was laid down. You know what I mean? The format, it was formatted and everything and whatnot. I feel like, yo, I'm a little bit more I'm what's the word? I feel like I'm a little bit more um enlightened after the track. You know what I mean? I guess. Anyways, yo, if you guys like this track as much as I enjoyed reacting to it, you already know what to do, man. Put it down there in the comment section all day long. I get to it as soon as possible. What am I talking about? I just put it down there in the comment section and whatnot, man. I don't know what the fuck it was about. That was a brain fart right there. Just put it down there in the comment section and whatnot. What's your favorite part of the track and whatnot? Put it down there as well. You know what I mean? If you guys want more tracks from RINO or any other type of video, put it down there in the comment section. You see this right here? It's my motherfucking thumb and whatnot. I need y'all to take y'all thumbs and throw it all the way up to the motherfucking sky and shit. Smash that like button and show me some love and support in that way. Another way you guys show me some love and support is by subscribing to the channel right down there all day long. And that's about it. I'm going to check you guys out next time on the next video. Peace out, one love. I'm out.